Hey everyone, Justin here, and I'm going to do a quick little video today on how to build your own specific marketing long-term nurture email campaign. The reason why I wanted to go ahead and actually create this is because if you do not know already, we have been creating a whole YouTube series that you can find on all of our social platforms, and they're all based more upon our keyboard shortcuts. What we decided to do is take every single individual video, in this case we have 45 of them in total, and we decided to actually make them into their own long-term nurture email. We're using all this information that we have in all these videos for our client email list. Why are we doing this? Well, we are doing this because we are eventually going to be creating and launching the B Pro Keyboard Shortcut Masterclass. This is still in development, but this is a portion of that development, if you will. So I'm gonna stop blabbering here and show you guys what I'm talking about and what I've been creating using Keap. All right, so as you can see here, we are in our keyboard shortcut long-term nurture email sequence. One, we do have a sequence right here for quarter 1 and then eventually quarter 2 videos and emails we'll be sending out. This will eventually be linked to the email link click, basically saying, hey, whoever opted into the email, they clicked this, email link clicked, well, there you go. And then obviously this is also linked to any purchases that anyone may have made. And then eventually we'll have a whole thing for opting out of the shortcut emails if people do not wish to continue doing it, or if they just don't want to do it in general. Let's take a look into the keyboard shortcuts here. So this is the sequence we are currently running with. So obviously it always starts off as messaging, and then I do have 2 different delay timers on here. One is for running on any Monday of any month at 7 a.m. And then the second one is going to be run on any Friday of any month at 8:30 a.m. Now, the reason why we went ahead and actually created these 2 specific ones is because we wanted 1 email per week. So in this case, the very first email, which is going to be the Control-Shift-T, this is going to be running on any Monday, any month at 7 a.m. So any Monday within that entire month, it's going to send that email at that specific time. That's just what we specifically chose. Obviously, you can alter and change that however you'd like. This one just made more sense for the strategy we're currently using. And then the same thing for Friday, just the end of the week, wrapping things up. And we did want to change up the time frame a little bit because we don't want to make it seem too automated. Obviously, the whole point of automation is to make things more simplistic, but you still have to humanize that experience. So just a little bit of a change, roughly within an hour and a half difference, can make all the difference. So this is just the pattern we are looking at. And then the pattern repeats throughout the entire sequence. And eventually we will be going up to what is going to be this ends in episode 24, so email 24, but these still need to be created. But as we're looking at this, I want to show you guys a little bit more on kind of the stylization that we are going to be using to actually create these emails. And hopefully this might actually influence you in some way, help guide or assist you in some way on how to develop and maybe write your emails in a specific way to maybe catch attention and the eye a little bit more of whoever your target audience is or whoever you have in your email list. So we open up the first one, Control-Shift-T. The very first email that gets sent out, we are doing different variations of this. So in this case, we do have everything coming from Paul. Then we have our subject line, just something clever we wanted to come up with that corresponds with the shortcut. So in this case, this shortcut is teaching everyone how to reopen a tab that you just closed. We go ahead and look into the email, the body itself. So we got our standard text that we just kind of drag into here. Then what we did is went ahead and used the video panel right here. And then obviously we just took our link that we took from the YouTube video that corresponds with this video and obviously auto imports in there. Every time underneath the video, it is very important for us to always put a caption as well, kind of indicating also what this video is explaining. When you look at this, the very first thing I see obviously is the video, but then immediately, because the little caption under here is in bold, which I personally also made sure they were, is because it also pops out at you a little bit more. It changes just a little difference of font, and like the boldness will attract the viewer or anyone who's viewing the email in general. And then in this case, we do have our own custom block we have created for Paul for the business. You can always add in a PS if you wanted to, but this is kind of the layout that we have been using for every individual email in general. But then at the end, actually still sticking down here, we also try our best to have some different links in our email as well. This may or may not be necessary depending on how you format and how you like to create your emails. Once again, this is something we just noticed specifically for us that seem to be working and that we also believe that could work the best. Since this hasn't launched yet, this is more of an assumption that this is what we believe is going to work the best based upon our audience. So for the first one, obviously in the block here, you can see the official Infusionsoft cookbook. This link is deep linked along with the under the hair email. Same thing with the keyboard shortcut. We deep link this as well. And all this is, if I hit Control K, you'll see right here, the URL is just the same URL as that video in the center. So you're giving someone two different places to view the exact same source of information. Why would you want to do that? If I go into like a preview here, for example, and I click this, I mean, I don't think it's going to work in here, but this is kind of what it looks like. Every week, you'll receive a custom keyboard shortcut video. You click this, it goes to our YouTube channel. Once again, it's kind of keeping the brand within the email. And obviously, our other goal is to continue to grow the YouTube channel as well. So why not push that little extra content? And worst comes to worst, someone doesn't click it, but they still get the information and the content that we wanted them to actually see. The unsubscribe portion on the bottom has to be there legally by default. This is not something you can even get rid of. It will not allow you to. Then if we go back, then we have our check-in sessions. These are the only two I'm actually going to show because everything is a rinse and repeat. So if we go into the check-in, so the first emails always come from Paul, and then the check-ins are always going to be from me. So the nice thing about the check-ins is the fact that like for the sender, you can change that. Obviously, I'm not going to click the edit button because I don't want different kind of email addresses to pop up. In this case, I customized the name to be mine, and then the email still goes to our main bpro.events email. Obviously, based upon the check-in, I do have a custom subject line as well. And then kind of the same thing for the content. We do the same thing. The exact same video that's in the first email is there as well. Slightly different approach. It's like, hey, just checking up with you as you would for a check-in, like you're emailing a friend or getting in touch with a good friend, because really that's what it is. And then you always keep your caption on the bottom here, and then you fully customize whatever you want for the text on the bottom, if that's how you want to format everything. And then create a great day of the week. This is more of like the merge field is the date of the week. Whenever it goes out, in this case, this one will be going out on a Friday. So it'll just say create a great Friday. So that's just kind of a custom merge field we like to use. Makes things a lot easier too. And then obviously just has my name. And then everything else is exactly the same. And then it's a simple rinse and repeat from there, honestly. So this is kind of the pattern we're going through to create a long-term nurture. Our strategy is a lot more simplistic because there's not really much that goes to it. Obviously, you can get a lot more complex with it depending on what you're trying to market, what you're trying to advertise. The building process in general can be a lot larger. Once again, something a lot more than what we're doing here, which is a simple like 4-click process. I think what is fun about this is that, one, it's not complex. Two, regardless if it's on the back end or the front end, everything is identical, everything makes sense, and everything is nice and clean and simplistic, which makes life easier for us here at bpro, and then everything even more simplistic for anyone who gets the emails. And that is the experience that we do expect for the customer experience and the customer journey, especially once it comes to automated emails. But that is simply what I wanted to show you guys today and talk about a little bit more. But I hope you found this interesting in some way, shape, or form. I actually had a really fun time creating this automation as I continue to learn more about how to build custom automations, regardless of what a business is looking for, what are they looking to create, and how to make their customer journey and their customer experience just as great as we create the same for ourselves. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let us know down in the comments. If you do want to see more content like this and more videos like this, please let us know. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you later.